Good morning, everybody. So it must be a week since I've seen you guys, and you know, it's weird. I miss seeing you every morning and standing up in front of assembly and giving out the messages and just chatting through the day. So I thought I'd have a go at doing something online for you to watch and hopefully enjoy. There are going to be lots of things we miss while we're not together, and some of them probably going to surprise us. So I miss hearing you singing. I miss being in my office and getting that little tap on the door of people who want to come and get a head teacher's award or show me a piece of work they've been doing. I miss being able to come to the classrooms and bring you a golden postcard. And I don't miss the early mornings, but then I don't suppose you do either. And I never thought I'd be actually doing an assembly wearing my slippers. But there you go. So I thought we'd have a little chat and maybe make this something that I can do more often, because one of the things I think we've got a really good opportunity to do here is to learn something new. We are not often going to get many times like this in our lives. I mean, I am ancient and I've never known a time like this when I've got so much time on my hands to actually do something. The problem is, a lot of the things I'd really love to be doing I can't do, because when I think of the things I enjoy in my spare time, like going out into London and taking photographs with my camera, at the moment I can't do that. I can't go and run around on a Monday night and play football with my friends. I can't go out with a big group and ride my bike. But it is perhaps a chance to learn something new, and one of the things that I'm going to challenge myself to do is to learn how to shoot video with my camera. So I'm using my camera, it's there somewhere, and I've never done this before, so this is an experiment for me. I'm going to learn how to use a video camera, and I'm going to hopefully give you some assemblies like this, which hopefully you're going to enjoy. Maybe you could learn something new as well. Hands up who's going to learn something new. Loads of you. Fantastic. Oh, and where's your uniform? Anyway, the first few days are really strange, aren't they? It's a little bit like being on holiday, and I guess we're probably not really missing those things at school too much yet. There'll be things we miss and things we don't, and there are going to be opportunities. But nobody really knows what the next few weeks, maybe even months, nobody really knows what's coming or what that looks like. And it got me thinking about Noah. Yeah, Noah, the guy that built an ark. Because if you remember that story, Noah was told by God that he had to build an ark. Why did he have to build an ark? He was told he had to build an ark because the rains were coming to punish people for being so bad. Now I know that's not what this situation is. We're not being punished for being bad. We aren't expecting really bad rain. In fact, at the moment, the weather's fantastic. But Noah was told to get ready. Something was coming. And that feels a little bit like what we are doing at the moment. We are told that there's that virus out there that we can't see, but we might know a few people who aren't well, and possibly that number of people is going to get bigger, so we don't know. We're wondering what's coming, just like Noah was. Noah was told to build his ark, and he started building it. Everybody must have looked at him and thought he was mad. Can you imagine living next door to Noah? Can you imagine if a lorry turned up one day and dumped a whole load of wood in your next door neighbour's front garden, and maybe he got a book from Amazon that's called How to Build an Ark, and he started looking through the book, and then from early morning the next day you're woken up by the sound of hammering and nails and hammers and wood being sawn, and you look out the window and there's a boat beginning to take shape. That's what the ark was, really, just a very big fancy boat. And the ark was being built. You'd scratch your head and you'd think, that Noah, he's a bit of a funny fella. But he kept building it despite what everybody said. And then when it was ready, he got all of his family, he took them on to the ark, nobody else, and he called for 2 of every kind of animal to join him. and they got on the ark and they waited. Gosh, is that the time? And they waited, and the rains came. Sky got darker and darker and darker. The rain got heavier. It turned into a proper storm. And the people outside must have looked at Noah and began to wonder, perhaps he was right. They got inside, the floodwaters rose, and gradually the ark began to float. Now we know a little bit about how it feels to have been on that ark now. A week ago, I really wouldn't have known. But now that we have to stay in our houses, we can imagine a little bit how Noah and his family must have felt on the ark. Except they didn't have Netflix, or a PlayStation, Xbox, mobile phone, no TV, no internet, no books, no loo roll. It must have been really hard. And I'm sure that they weren't the ideal family. I'm sure that sometimes Noah got cross, Mrs. Noah got cross, baby Noah got cross. We don't know, well I don't know how many friends and family he had, or how many sons and daughters and so on he had on the boat. But I'm sure it was difficult living with all of those people and the animals in a small space. It must have been really hard, and they must have got grumpier and grumpier. And for ages they must have looked for a sign that things were going to get better. Surely one day the sun's going to come out, the rain's going to stop. But no, all the time, rain, rain, rain. When would it end? Gradually, everything disappeared. All they could see was water. Water, water, water for miles. No trees anymore, no hills, no mountains. They were all buried beneath the water. When would it end? Perhaps it would carry on raining forever. They must have been pretty frightened actually, and bored, and grumpy. I'm sure there was some laughs too. And then one day, the rain stopped. Just stopped. Maybe the sun came out. But certainly the floods weren't getting any worse. They were still there. That was all they could see. Floods. Let's look out the front of the boat. Ah, floods. Left. Floods. To the right. Floods behind them. Floods. After a while, Noah decided to find out if there was any hope. What could he do? He had a dove. So he sent the dove back, and the dove flew away, off into the distance, disappeared. But the dove came back. You see, there was nowhere for it to land. Just water everywhere, so it had to come back to the ark. A week later, surely now, he sent the dove out again. This time the dove came back, but it had something in its beak. A little branch or a twig from an olive tree. Thought Noah. At least that means there's a bit of a tree sticking up out of the water. That's got to be a good sign. He waited another week, and then he sent the dove out again. This time the dove did not come back. That was a good sign. Noah knew that if the dove didn't come back, it was because it had found somewhere to land, somewhere to nest, somewhere to build a home. That meant that the water levels were going down and there was a tree sticking up clear of the water. It wasn't long before Noah and his family spotted the top of a mountain sticking up out of the water. The waters were going down and land was beginning to appear, and they headed towards it. And within a few days they'd managed to land the ark on the top of a mountain. The mountain's called Ararat, you can find out about it. And the ark came to a stop, and Noah and his family were able to step out onto dryish land for the first time in weeks. That night, God put a rainbow in the sky, and that was a sign, a symbol. It was a symbol that God was promising he would never send such terrible floods again. And I think that rainbow is a brilliant symbol, because it's a sign to us too. It's a sign that even when it's stormy, even when it feels rubbish out there, it will always get better. And that rainbow from God is a real promise of hope. And I think that's important to hang on to at the moment, because we don't know what the next few weeks look like. We can't get into an ark and sail away. In fact, we can't really go anywhere or do very much about it. But we can hold on to that rainbow of hope, and know that one day it will be sunny again. We will go outside again. We'll be back at school. You might not want to be back at school right now, but in a few weeks' time, a few months' time, I'm sure you will be wanting to be back at school. And I can't wait, actually. I really look forward to that time when I've got all you sitting there in your uniform in front of me, and we're having assembly together with you talking to me instead of me just talking to you. So I look forward to that day. In the meantime, stay safe, stay inside, look after yourselves.